This video will be about multiplying probabilities. The first thing we have to consider when we're multiplying probabilities is whether or not two events are independent. If two events are independent, then that means that the outcome of one event doesn't affect the outcome of the other. On the other hand, if two events are dependent, then that means that the outcome of one does affect the outcome of the other. So an example of two events that are independent would be rolling a dice followed by tossing a coin, because the effect of the die roll doesn't have any influence on what the coin toss comes up as. An example of two events that are dependent would be drawing one marble out of a bag, not putting it back, and then drawing another marble, because depending on what you got as the first marble, you might get a different one as the second, because you're changing the numbers of marbles in the bag. So if two events are independent, then the probability that event A and event B occurs is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B. Just going to note here where A and B are independent events. So, for example, if I want to know the probability that I get a 1 on a die roll and a head on a coin toss, that would be the probability of getting a 1 on a die roll, which is 1/6, times the probability of getting a head on a coin toss, which is 1/2. So the total probability is 1/12. Let's say we have two events, A and B, except now they're dependent. This means the probability that event A and event B occurs is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B given that A occurs, where this little line symbol means the probability of B given A. Okay, so let's say that we have a marble bag which has 3 red marbles and 4 blue marbles. And I want to know the probability that I get a red followed by another red. The probability that I get the first red is equal to 3 out of 7. And then the probability that I get the second red, if I don't replace the first one, is equal to 2 out of 6. Because after I took out the first red, there are only 2 reds left inside the bag, and there are only 6 total marbles left inside the bag. So our probability ends up being 1/7.